been plenty of, people who are delegates who have usually because of, third hand slander or whatever, come out against me, stab me in the back or whatever. And it's, I've been happy to try to mend fences with people like that. We don't have to be best friends, but if we agree on 90% of every issue, there's no reason why there shouldn't be some sort of petty squabbling.
Absolutely.
That would keep us apart and keep us from having success in, doing, kind of mutually beneficial stuff for the Constitution, for our country, for the party, for Republicans, for Trump, for whatever. So that's why, what's happened over the past couple of years has been very regretful. I know Larry said that, earlier that what happened with Karamo was a disaster. And I know a lot of us who thought that she should be removed because she was not doing a good job. As soon as that happened, we were, it's over. Let's try to move forward, and we may not
mend fences.
Let's mend fences as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, there was a clique of people from the anti-Karamo camp who they were kind of like a Mean Girls type club. They were very cliquish. They were, very exclusionary, that they were sore winners.
Right.
And that they, tried to rub salt in the wounds of the Karamo people at all times, try to bury them rather than, hey, we're all Republicans. They're going to be here. We're going to be here. Let's try to mend fences. Let's try to bring them into the mix. Let's try to bring them into the fold.
Right.
That did not happen. And for years, how can we be more exclusionary? How can we drive these people away from the party? I know when I was doing delegates for Trump events, there were groups of people who were like, oh, that person, I think they're one of them. And it's like, this is someone no one's ever been seen before,
One of them, like a they them or just a them?
A them. One of the Karamo people. This person, is wearing a shirt with a cross on it. They're one of those Christian nationalists. That's what people were saying at these events. And I'm like, well, we're going to sign them up anyway because that, is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And if you see these people and it's like, well, okay, well, how about this? After we sign them up as a delegate, you give them a call. You try to explain to them what's going on.
Right.
You take them out to coffee. You try to build that relationship, try to cultivate that relationship.
Yeah.
But these people, they wanted to, well, who are all these people? Well, they showed up because they're enthusiastic about Trump and they wanted to get involved.
Exactly.
So what happened as a result was in Oakland County, I know you guys said it was similar in Livingston County.
Mm-hmm.
In Oakland County, there was less than 300 people showed up as delegates that day. I was one who showed up because I always show up, but couldn't go to convention.
Right.
So let's say, probably between 250 and 270 delegates in Oakland County out of something like 800, 900. So just the most pathetic of turnouts. And
which is a total contrast to 4 years ago and even 2 years ago.
Yeah. So what happened? It was a lot of it had to do with the infighting. People were just, I'm sick of it.
Yep.
Trump won, so whatever. I don't have to deal with that BS. That's some of it, but a lot of it was just due to poor organizing and exclusionary organizing. And you know what happened? What happened was all these people trying to throw dirt on the Karamo people.
Yeah.
Probably some of the Karamo people fell off, but a lot of them had a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
And they showed up. Yep. And they had that core of the delegates. They probably had, 40 to 50% of the delegates. And I would say they overwhelmingly went to Jim because they were the ones who were angriest about the consultant class. They'd been through the ringer. Mm-hmm. They'd felt, how they'd been stabbed in the front and the back by the establishment. And then after Kristina got removed, it was the sore winner syndrome, getting dirt kicked in their face left and right.
Yeah.
And that core of people, you look at the exclusionary tactics of a lot of the, anti-Karamo people mixed with the determination that built in their hearts because they were discriminated against or felt they were discriminated against. That's what you saw bubble up at convention. And that's why you saw a lot of, incumbents, Marion Sheridan, who's a great friend of mine, did a spectacular job as grassroots vice chair, probably the best person I've ever seen in a vice chair situation who's been elected in the Michigan Republican Party. Mm-hmm. She lost because it was a house cleaning. It was a heads must roll type event. And Jim was able to tap into that anger, and
Right.
and there were, the people who, there were people in the new establishment, as I call them, the clique.
Mhm.
And I felt it. I saw it. It disgusted me too. That they, thought that because they were able to get rid of Kristina, they vastly overestimated their own power and influence, and they took a real hit to their egos. And hopefully, they'll be able to come back and be more humble, and will be able to unite under Jim, because a lot of the stuff that they were saying, we're going to get rid of all these people, we're going to make it so we're going to be gatekeepers so that certain delegates can't get through, and if they do get through, we're going to X them out because we have the power as a county party or district party or whatever. All the people who were saying that, well, they didn't have the numbers. They didn't have close to having the numbers. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. So let's come together. Let's try to unite.
Right.
Let's put all this infighting to bed. But yeah, this sort of establishment cliquishness, hopefully that died on Saturday with the convention.